Chapter 292. Finally, the green ocean appeared before them. After many long days passing through the lightning barrier, the two from the Divine Tree group had come closer to Dragon Island than ever before. A few more days passed, and Panis began to complain that they'd been at sea for days and still hadn't found Dragon Island. But a spark of focus lit up in Divine Tree's eyes as he encouraged Panis, saying they'd find it soon. Another 10 days went by, and the sea in this area was no longer calm but surged with high waves. What did this mean? They were close to the island. Panis, perched atop his master, saw something terrifying. They were heading into a sea filled with countless destructive waterspouts weaving together, and Panis hurriedly urged his master to go around. Divine Tree didn't go around. Instead, he charged straight in, knowing that detouring wasn't an option. There was no way around. Speed increasing to the extreme, Divine Tree carried Panis as they pierced straight into the vortex ahead like a bullet. And then, Dragon Island appeared. Wait, was this a statue? It turned out that behind those ferocious whirlwinds was a barrier, and only by destroying this barrier could they enter Dragon Island. And finally, the two of them succeeded. Divine Tree and Panis immediately scanned the surroundings, trying to assess the situation. In truth, this female bird was wide-eyed with fear, showing no significant expression. Meanwhile, Divine Tree stood before a stone dragon statue and confirmed that this was indeed Dragon Island, as the place was enveloped in a faint purple spiritual aura. Soon, someone came to greet them, opening its mouth wide and letting out a fierce roar. It was a golden Asian-style dragon, radiating a strong, pale golden light from its entire body. Standing before these two tiny beings, it began to growl threateningly and asked why these two little mice dared to intrude on Dragon Island. According to Panis, this might be the Golden Dragon, one of the 3 kings of dragonkind, and it only asked as a formality, as it immediately attacked them with its dragon breath. A wave of deadly, scorching spiritual energy surged forth, but Divine Tree managed to raise a shield with his left hand just in time. With his right hand, he instantly created a bright yellow lightning spear, and since it dared to attack him so suddenly, he deemed it deserving of death. Then, he hurled the lightning spear forcefully at the dragon. The proud dragon blocked the strike with one hand, considering it a trivial attack. But something went wrong. Fear flickered in the Dragon King's eyes. Somehow, the lightning spear pierced through its claw and struck its body directly, a powerful blow. It pushed the dragon backward. Divine Tree snorted, acknowledging that this opponent was no weakling, but to him, it was nothing more than a lame chicken. Suddenly, the Dragon King countered with a spiked, yellow object, as large as a building. The hit immediately drove Divine Tree straight down to the ground like a bullet, causing an explosion on impact. Then, the golden dragon's foot came crashing down on the ground. It turned out the earlier attack was from its tail, which was a spiked club, and Divine Tree's attack had caused the Dragon King's right leg to bleed profusely. Divine Tree walked out from the smoke and dust, showing no sign of injury. The golden dragon, enraged and with veins bulging, roared asking why, after the last time, this wretched elf dared to show up here again. Oh, so the elf and these dragons had a grudge in the past? That must be why the dragon attacked without hesitation. Divine Tree then spoke, saying there had been a misunderstanding. I'm not part of the group you're referring to. The Dragon King didn't believe him, assuming it was just a deceitful trick of the vile elves. Being called vile made Divine Tree irritated, and he declared that although he might look like an elf, he wasn't one. The Dragon King didn't say more and continued gathering spiritual energy in its mouth, while ordering Divine Tree to leave. Alright, there was no other choice. If he wanted this dragon to listen, he'd have to defeat it. Divine Tree's whole body began to glow, enveloped in a golden magical aura. At this moment, Panis also transformed back into a centaur. She quickly created a spiritual weapon with her right hand and charged forward, ready to fight alongside her master, just as the dragon prepared to unleash a terrifying breath attack, clearly much stronger than before. Suddenly, a loud voice shouted, "Stop!" The golden dragon paused its attack, slightly startled. Divine Tree also stopped. The newcomer was just as powerful as the one before them. It was another Asian-style dragon, with a body as red as blood. The red dragon told the golden dragon that their grandfather wanted to meet this elf. And so, to the dragon's nest, the most dangerous place on this planet. Divine Tree and Panis were taken to meet the most powerful being, but along the way, countless hostile dragon eyes were fixed on them. Panis could only tremble. She had never passed by so many dragons before, and they were far from friendly. On the contrary, they looked at her as if she were a mere pest, believing they could kill her at any moment. So tense from watching both sides, Panis bumped into her master's firm back. It turned out they had arrived. Divine Tree looked up. A massive creature with clear, piercing eyes was staring right back at him. This was the ancient dragon, the most powerful being on Dragon Island, entirely white and radiating an extraordinary aura. No one knew how old this ancient dragon was, only that dragons become stronger with age. The ancient dragon then spoke, saying, "Please forgive Jean. This place was invaded by elves half a year ago." "Ah, so that's the reason." For Divine Tree, this was actually good news. The old dragon raised its head, revealing several large scars, and declared that it knew full well that the being before it didn't belong to this planet. The ancient dragon had sensed Divine Tree's presence the moment he arrived. These words left Divine Tree deeply impressed. This creature was indeed formidable, perhaps not as strong as Divine Tree but capable of a battle that could shake the heavens. Only such a being could have a perception of spiritual energy that defied logic. The ancient dragon also declared that it knew why Divine Tree had come, and so, it stated its willingness to cooperate with him. End of chapter 292.